story appears ordinary until you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello and thank you for joining us on CoreTV News on the hour. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. The Osun State Governor Rauf Aregbesola has vowed to use his second term in office as a mark of celebrating democracy as an instrument of political empowerment. Aregbesola made this known at his second swearing-in as governor of the state. The governor, while acknowledging the enormity of the mandate given to him, singled out the people of Osun for special commendation and vowed to accelerate the speed of social, political and economic development in the next 4 years. He also promised to complete all ongoing projects and start new ones in every community. Some of the areas he mentioned as critical include roads, education and infrastructure. Others are wealth creation as well as security of lives and property. He did not fail to commend one of the national leaders of the All Progressives Congress, Bola Tinubu, for the inspiration given him in his quest to develop Osun State. The embattled 19 APC lawmakers of the Ekiti State House of Assembly, led by Adewale Omiri, on Wednesday visited the Osun State House of Assembly to seek support over what they tagged harassment by the Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose. Omiri made this assertion while delivering his address on the floor of the Osun State House of Assembly. He added that it remains the authentic and constitutionally elected Speaker of Ekiti State House of Assembly.
He has disconnected the lights in the Speaker's lodge. By Monday, he withdrew all my drivers, withdrew all the staff in my office, and locked up my office, even before the impeachment was carried out. So enough ground was prepared for the impeachment. A purported impeachment, let me put it, illegal impeachment. Yes. Illegal impeachment, because like the Speaker said, they were just 7 and they never formed quorum. So as far as we are concerned, it was an illegal sitting and all the actions carried out that day was null and void. And I had been saying it and telling the entire world that I remain the Speaker of Ekiti State House of Assembly.
In a solidarity message, the Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Najim Salam, reaffirms the commitment and readiness of the state lawmakers to the cause of their Ekiti colleagues.
Entirety, the actions of the governor of the state and the 7 members in the House of Assembly in Ekiti State, because it is illegal for 7 to have been met at the floor and in the yellow chamber meeting for the business of the house. And we are doing this because it is the constitutional provisions of this country that for you to sit, you must have a quorum of 1/3. For you to have impeached the Speaker of the House, you must have 2/3 majority of the members, not of the members that are sitting that day, of the whole member of the House. Where did they get the authority? Where did they get the authority, even for the governor to have confirmed that I'm confirming illegality in the country? The Conference of Speakers recognized up to today, until tomorrow, the Right Honorable Speaker, Dr. Omiri, as the Speaker of Ekiti State, and other principal officers still stand in the Ekiti State.
The ancient city of Ibadan, one of Nigeria's hotbeds of politics, has in the last 1 week been engulfed by violent political crisis. In the aftermath of the skirmishes, accusing fingers have been pointed at different political directions as the harbinger of violence. One of the major political parties accused of sponsoring the mayhem, the All Progressives Congress in Oyo State, has denied allegations linking its members to the violence. Omotayalo monitors the development in Ibadan and filed in this report.
The unfortunate thing is that the government that prides itself on peace, it is its own party that are now causing this crisis, because it happened during their meeting, and at the end of it, you know them very well. They will push it to the doorstep of the opponent, because they will never accept there's anything wrong with them.
That was the Oyo State former governor and now a governorship aspirant on the platform of a court party, Rashid Ladoja, bemoaning the extent of damage caused by the violence. But for the state's APC chairman, Akinyoke, Ladoja's outcry could best be described as a cheap blackmail. He blamed the opposition for causing mayhem in the name of scoring political points, adding that the APC would not be a part of violence and disorder.
We could have encouraged and would have supported any of our members, known members, serious members, officers of our party to encourage violence. We detest violence. We know what that violence means when we're in opposition. We know what we suffer. And I personally, coming from where I am coming from, know what political violence is.
The director of publicity and strategy of the ruling party, Olawale Shadari, earlier stated that if any party should be questioned on the cause of violence and unrest, it should be the oppositions and not APC.
Those suspected to have been responsible for these violent acts were known thugs that has been sympathetic to the cause of the PDP and Accord party in the state as it were. When you mention names like Ekugbemi and another one, Omo Alaja, these people I do not know them. But if you go to areas like Okeado, Bonfoto, Idiarere, Molete, they will tell you that these people are the ones that actually caused the mayhem, and they are sympathizers of PDP and Accord party. Because I tell you, Accord is nothing but an appendage of the PDP.
The Oyo APC chairman also denied alleged links to political thugs by some party members being banded in some quarters.
As much as possible, the party is proud to say in the last 3.5 years we have enjoyed relative peace. And any of our members that we discover is prone to violence, party will deal with such officers.
The obvious fact remains that while no one and any political parties are ready to own up to being part of the mayhems that have left many lives and property destroyed, the people at the receiving end become the ultimate losers. Omotayalo, CoreTV News, Ibadan.
As the nation continues to grapple with the issue of development, especially insecurity and economic downturn occasioned by dwindling prices of crude oil in the international market, former President Olusegun Obasanjo says the Jonathan Goodluck administration has not done enough to fight insecurity and corruption in the country. Obasanjo, who spoke on the sidelines of the public presentation of the autobiography of retired Justice Mustafa Kombi, admonished the present administration to wake up to its responsibility.
I have always maintained that solution to Boko Haram or any organization like it lies in application of stick and carrot. To successfully fight corruption, it must start from the top. The old saying goes that fish starts to rot from the head. If the head is rotten, there's nothing left of the body.
After initially snubbing the House of Representatives, the Inspector General of Police, Suleiman Abba, finally showed up to appear before an investigative hearing on last Thursday's police action in the legislative complex. The session, however, ended abruptly because the police chief refused to recognize Aminu Tambuwal as Speaker of the House of Representatives. He also insisted that his men did not fire tear gas at the complex.
On the arrival of Alhaji Aminu Tambuwal,
I expect you to acknowledge Alhaji Aminu Waziri Tambuwal as the Speaker of this House, pending the interpretation of a judiciary which is settled by the Constitution of this country, for or otherwise.
I will not sit down and allow an appointee of another arm of government to disrespect the status and the office of the Mr. Speaker of the National Assembly. It's either the IGP is retracting that statement now, or I, as an individual, will have to take my leave, because that means this sitting is illegal.
You know too well matters before the court are not commented upon. I believe it will be sub judice for me to comment on a matter that is before the court. Thank you.
And while the Inspector General of Police was at the National Assembly, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, was meeting the National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, John Odige Oyegun, behind closed doors. The meeting, which was held at the party National Secretariat, lasted about 30 minutes, and APC sources say it centered around strategies to scuttle alleged plans to impeach the Speaker. Tambuwal, however, refused to comment on the reason for the meeting with the APC chairman. The Senate has set up a 7-member ad hoc committee to investigate the recent police invasion of the National Assembly. Senate President David Mark announced the composition of the committee after deliberation on what many of the lawmakers described as a breach of security and sanctity of the legislative complex. The committee, headed by Ahmed McCarthy, includes Adegbenga Kaka, Ehige Uzamere, and Atiku Bagudu. Other members are Victor La and Jibrila Bindowo. Earlier, many senators had recounted their experiences on the day the police stormed the complex in a bid to stop the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Aminu Tambuwal, from gaining access to the lower chamber. The legislators also ignored partisan consideration to condemn the police action.
It all began with a motion raised by Senate leader Victor Ndoma Egba, and what followed could best be described as a non-partisan condemnation of the police action. It was the first time in recent history that senators will speak with one voice across party lines, with many describing the incident as a coup against democracy.
What happened last week at the National Assembly is a coup attempt by the Nigerian police against the parliament.
The incident of Thursday, the 20th day of November 2014. I say so because I believe that what happened on that day was a major desecration of the sanctity of the presence of the National Assembly.
Some senators also insisted that a crime was committed when the police stormed the complex and would have preferred outright sanctions in place of an investigation.
Mr. President, on that very fateful day, I was at the gate. There were barricades. I was not thoroughly searched. I was allowed in.
Anybody that has not been sworn to sit in this Alo chamber and in the chamber of House of Reps is a stranger. A police officer that is even here is a stranger.
To correct and ensure that every other security personnel within the premises and precincts of the National Assembly is subject to and under the control of the Sergeant at Arms.
I once told you, or several times in private, that because you're an experienced person
very elderly, calm. You bend too much, and we, the young ones, are finding it very difficult now to follow you.
There were, however, a handful of senators who felt the police were doing their jobs on that day.
Instead of using the word condemn, I want to say it was an unfortunate development. Whatever happened that day was unfortunate.
At the end of the debate, the Senate President opted for a thorough investigation and announced a 7-member ad hoc committee.
I agree with you that we set up a committee. Is the price or the sacrifice, the price we have to pay for democracy, or the sacrifice we have to make for democracy. That is what I believe happened to me, and the Speaker has been in touch with me and I've been in touch with him.
Senator Mark did not set a time frame within which the panel will operate, but many senators are hopeful that its recommendations will not be swept under the carpet like previous ones.
It's the CoreTV News on the hour. We'll take a short break and be right back with more stories.
Every day, every hour, and every minute, news break in Nigeria. Things happen so fast, it's most times difficult to track and comprehend them. But that's what we do right here on Digit 360. 2015, would you want to come back again?
It's like asking Jesus Christ if he knew he was going to die, will you want to come back as the savior of the world again?
We do not just help you track the stories, we break them down, explore all the angles, analyze the issues so that you can fully comprehend the stories and use them to make the right decisions.
Thank you for being there. President Goodluck Jonathan on Wednesday appeared before a presidential screening committee of the People's Democratic Party. Jonathan, who was accompanied by Vice President Namadi Sambo, was screened by a committee headed by former PDP chairman Ahmadu Ali. After the exercise, party spokesman Olisamejo said the president's appearance was in line with the process leading to the primaries. It said the outcome of the screening would be known and released within 24 hours. Meanwhile, after several months of playing up his presidential interest, Abdul Jalil Tafawa Balewa, the son of Nigeria's former prime minister, has withdrawn from the race of the presidential ticket of the People's Democratic Party. Tafawa Balewa announced his withdrawal after spending about 90 minutes with the PDP presidential screening committee at the party's national secretariat in Abuja. He told journalists he was standing down in the party's interest.
Ladies and gentlemen of the press, I thank you all for coming. As the chairman said earlier, it has been a truly screening experience. I have decided to withdraw my aspiration for now, for the strength and well-being of the party. I hope to see you all at some other time. I am a strong PDP member. I am willing, able, and will continue to be a strong member of the PDP. I'm ready to do whatever it is that comes my way. I thank you all.
As the 2015 general elections approach, Lagos State Governor Babatude Fashola has called on the electorate to summon the courage to sack any non-performing administration. Fashola made the call at the commissioning of the Agege Transfer Loading Station. Abiola Oluwale's report is presented from our studio.
The commissioning of the transfer loading station is part of efforts of Lagos State government to rid the entire metropolis of filth. Fashola, who admitted the adoption of successful strategies from developed countries has assisted in the accomplishment of a clean Lagos, says sacking non-performing administration through the ballot box is the only way to record more progress in the country.
I will continue to emphasize that any public officer who makes promises to you does so as a matter of honor and duty. Any political party that does so as a matter of honor and duty. And they must give you explanations why they did not keep those promises. And if you are not satisfied with those explanations, you must ask them to leave by your votes. This is what the social contract is all about.
The governor also commissioned a resettlement center in Ngodu area of the state. After handing over the camp, which has a capacity of housing 1,600 internally displaced persons, Fashola maintained that the center is aimed at taking succor to the people in time of disaster.
We will continue to do our best as a government to prevent accidents from happening, to prevent disasters from happening. But in the history of human life, disasters will happen. What do we do when people are displaced?
The day climaxed with the commissioning of Lagos Skipper Engineering Academy, a collaborative effort between Lagos Eco Project and the State Electricity Board in Ikotu. The academy is designed to train technicians in the state.
It's the CoreTV News on the hour. Take another break and we'll be back with a story outside Nigeria.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then news. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And outside Nigeria, crowds have rallied across the U.S. to protest against Monday's decision not to charge a policeman over the killing of a black teenager, Michael Brown. Demonstrations from New York to Seattle were mostly peaceful, but rioting broke out in Oakland, California. In and around the St. Louis suburb of Ferguson, scene of major riots on Monday, 2,200 National Guard troops were deployed to stop further unrest. The white officer who killed Brown says he has a clear conscience. Darren Wilson shot the 18-year-old on 9th of August, sparking weeks of unrest in the Missouri town. Many in Ferguson's predominantly African-American community had called for the officer to be charged with murder, but the grand jury's decision means the police officer will not face state criminal charges over the shooting. Lawyers for Brown's family denounced the grand jury's decision as unfair while condemning the violence that followed the decision. Protesters carried signs saying Black Lives Matter. They chanted, "Hands up, don't shoot," a reference to claims by some witnesses that Brown had his hands raised when he was shot. In Oakland, in the San Francisco Bay Area, rioters vandalized police cars and businesses in the center during a second night of unrest in the port city of 406,000 people. And that's it on CoreTV News for this time. Join us again top of the hour for more. Thank you for watching. I am Ibn Lomo Adekunle.